Hey guys, Skyro97 again, this time with an unboxing and first impression of the new 3DS XL Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Edition. This is a European version, so it has Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate pre-installed. From what I've heard, the American version of this with this box art does not have Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate pre-installed, but there is a GameStop exclusive with a different box that has Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate pre-installed. And when we look at the box, we get the usual information, compatible with the amiibos, improved 3D, which I really wonder how it's going to be, extra large screens because it's the XL version, the C-Stick, which I'm even more curious about because that is something that can really make or break this system, especially with games that will require the new 3DS to perform. And I don't think they specifically mentioned a more powerful processor. Yep, other than the things that are included with here, we do not get an AC adapter in all languages, so you are absolutely certain it does not come with one. It's even mentioned in front of the box. So let's open this thing up and see what hides inside. Careful not to damage anything. And let's see, make sure the code isn't seen, or else that's already going to be a jump code right there. So we get a quick start guide, probably in a number of languages. We get a pretty big manual. I'm gonna assume that's in a lot of different languages. Well, 4 languages, and this only seems to be for the 3DS. Apparently it's going to be a very difficult machine to operate. And now to get to the machine itself. What I was looking forward to the most is to see how it looks in person with the silver and the kind of, how to put it, it looks like it's some kind of wing design going on. And it's very, very shiny. This looks pretty damn nice. The one thing I was worried about the most is that it was going to look, that this was going to look like it was actually silver to begin with, like metallic to begin with, and then it just had been worn away. But I'd say it has a really nice wave effect going on. And of course we have the symbol for Monster Hunter 4. And another one here at the bottom, new 3DS XL. Let's see, game card goes in there, and opening it up. Oh, that's pretty cool. It actually locks up there and then locks right there. And the C-Stick, just using it like this does feel a bit odd. Guess I'm gonna have to try that out to see how it works. Normals look pretty good. D-pad nice and clicky. And the buttons definitely feel nice and clicky as well. And let's see, usually these things have some energy still built in, and nope, it's gonna have to be charged first, but the button is lighting up. Oh, he is booting up. Let's see where the volume control is. I'll do this setup off screen. Alrighty, having configured the system and applied the screen protectors, let's see what this thing offers straight out of the box. Of course, get a stylus, so let's see, changing the theme, lets you customize your home menu. So you can visit the home menu. Let's see what we can do here, change theme. I'm really hoping this is gonna have a Monster Hunter theme, because, you know, reasons. Decorate, trying to discover your favorite theme. Simple red, simple blue, simple. That's very simple, I'd say. Simple red. Theme shop. Don't tell me they're gonna charge for that. See, purchasing them or redeeming download codes. Let's not do that. I see Monster Hunter 4 and... Oh, you son of a... There's got to be a code for that, right? I mean, it's the limited edition and they're going to charge you to customize the home menu? Oh, come on! There's gotta be something in the quick start guide about that. That's impossible. That should have been the standard one. How? You cannot do this! Come on, people! And it's probably going to be the same with the Legend of Zelda one. So not only are you going to charge me for my adapter, for network, for the charging cable, but you're also going to charge me to customize my DS, my new 3DS, for matching themes. Well, that's just fantastic. Well, I guess we're just going to go for simple red, which ends up being quite pink at the top. So let's see if we can change that to black, which is probably going to match the metal a lot better. Simple black. Yeah, as figured, turns out quite gray. So let's see, nothing inserted there. Nope. Haven't inserted anything because... No. AR games, augmented reality. This is where these cards are going to come in handy. Now, I really hope you're not going to charge me for that either. Open up. I guess now's a good time to mention that this is supposed to have the steady, or the super steady 3D, which has face recognition. It works okay, but I have noticed on a few occasions that moving my head slightly, it didn't quite catch on. Well, the face recognition didn't quite work. So we got Mario, Link, Kirby, Samus, and the Pikmins. You know, this would have been a great occasion to include a specific AR card. I mean, we get Toon Link, which would be great for the Legend of Zelda exclusive, so why not give us a Monster Hunter AR card? But then again, maybe licensing they can make, because these are all Nintendo franchises. So let's see what this is going to do. And this is just the usual shooting game. Probably going to be very fun for 5 minutes, but I really feel that this is going to be one of the games that, you know, you're going to play for a while, but then you will get bored for it. But, you know, I decided it is pretty fun to include your entire desk playing the game, and works pretty well. Moving on, we get some more of the standard 3DS stuff. We have face radars, where you can take a picture of your face and shoot at them. Activity log, very familiar from the Wii. Download play, well, download some stuff to play. System settings, nothing special. Tomodachi Life welcome version. The one our dad's gonna play, and of course the one thing I bought it, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate pre-installed. And well, that's what we're getting on here, so there's a software. Already? This thing has only just been released. As if that is something new. I don't know why I was surprised about that. And here I'm back 1 hour later. I've gotten myself accustomed with the game and the 3DS itself. So far the game seems like a lot of fun. I went through a bunch of tutorials, a lot of reading, but the game really does seem promising. So I'm absolutely looking forward to playing more of it. On to the controls. By that I mean the 3DS itself. It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. The shoulder buttons, well, the 2 shoulder buttons on each side seem to be no problem at all, and they work absolutely perfectly. I've never had any problem clicking one of the two buttons and accidentally hitting the other one, so that's absolutely fine. The normal buttons, great, they're nice and clicky, the D-pad, nice and clicky, start select, no problem. And even this nub thing, not sure what to call it, it works better than expected, but I'm not really sure about it yet. I definitely, at the moment, would have preferred a second analog stick, but it sure is a hell of a lot better than using the touchpad. I can't really say anything about the Circle Pad Pro because I haven't used that thing. And of course, it's a hell of a lot more convenient than using the D-pad because, you know, you gotta use your left hand on that analog stick. The analog stick itself, well, it does seem to have a rather big dead zone, so you only start moving slightly when you're about halfway there. So the analog stick, I'm not really too fond of that thing. Also, for some reason, it seems to be a bit on the slippy side. I'm not really sure how big of an issue that is going to be. Maybe it's going to become less sticky, but I have had a few situations where I really felt my thumb simply sliding off when I was trying to run around. So I hope it's going to become less sticky. Well, not sticky, less slippery. Maybe I should make it a bit more sticky, you know. Who knows, maybe that'll work. But so far, yeah, moving around is going to take a bit of getting used to. And for the time being, I definitely prefer the controls, especially the analog sticks of my PS Vita, quite unfortunately. But, you know, it's kind of weird for the time being, but only time will tell how that goes. Another feature this thing had was the improved 3D. Well, the face recognition isn't always spot on. For most of the times, it recognized my face absolutely perfectly, but just as when I was trying it out, sometimes I'll just be holding it right in front of me, and suddenly the 3D will sort of flicker, my eyes defocus, and then it'll take a few more seconds to get used to it again. So it's not always perfectly, but I'm pretty sure that is something that can be fixed with a software update later on, because I don't think, well, it's not a problem with the 3D itself, it's just a problem with the face recognition. So that is something they can fix. But so far, from what I've tried, maybe I should look into disabling that auto face recognition thing, because most of the time it's going to work, but it is rather annoying when you're trying to focus on the 3D and when you're trying not to get a headache and suddenly it starts flickering and the focus is completely gone. So that is a bit annoying. Other than that, you know, like I said, everything works. Oh, shit. Well, that is anything. Let's go to sleep mode. Well, let's turn this thing back on again. One thing I also noticed is it does take a bit of a... It takes a bit to start up, but, you know, once it starts up, it's immediate. So, in the end, when comparing it to the PS Vita for starting up, it does take about the same time. The PS Vita starts up faster, but it does have the intro, whereas this takes a bit longer to initially load, but, you know, once it pops up, you're immediately to the menu. I can't say that I'm too big a fan of the menu either, because, well, it's all just in one big line. For the moment, it's not going to be that big of a problem, but by the time I get to my games, I can't go to the left, like to get to the other side of the list. That's stupid. I mean, my Monster Hunter game is all the way on the back of the list, and I have to go through everything. You know, you have the fast one. Come on. But still, this seems rather inconvenient. Once again, I'm going to have to compare it to the PS Vita, where it is a lot faster. And finally, let's do some size comparisons. This thing, first up, we have the PS Vita. And, you know, when you just consider one screen, the size is very similar. PS Vita is wider, but when we close this thingy up, overall, they do take up about the same amount of space. 3DS is a bit higher, PS Vita is a bit wider. And to really show off the size of these things, let's bring in the old DS Lite. Quite a difference, especially when we look at the screens, because man, I really like these screens, but when I compare them to the 3DS XL now, the screen difference is humongous, absolutely monstrous. So, in conclusion, should you pick this thing up? Well, for the original retail price, which is $229, I think this is a very nice thing for a 3DS. As far as aesthetics go, as far as the game goes, everything is great. It looks absolutely gorgeous, really like the metallic going on with the feather-like pattern, and it just fits really well with the game. We have a nice stylized symbol on the front, a nice stylized symbol on the back, and it just looks absolutely stunning. And then the game itself is, of course, a lot of fun, gives you a lot of bang for your buck, and well, I wanted to say, when you look at the price, $229, it's not that much more expensive than buying a normal 3DS, though that I have to admit that I haven't checked on eBay yet, because prices of these tend to go up pretty high. So I'll just say that if you can pick this thing up for retail or close to retail price, maybe they'll reissue it. Highly doubt it, unfortunately, it is Nintendo. So if you can find it for close to retail price, this is absolutely worth picking up, because the price, when you consider, well, especially when you live in Europe and you get the version with Monster Hunter 4 pre-installed, the value difference between a normal 3DS, new 3DS, and this new 3DS is pretty much the same, and this one has a cool limited edition skin on it, so that is definitely worth it. Overall, absolutely worth picking up. And if you're gonna have to choose between this 3DS, the new 3DS, or the old 3DS, well, the processor is faster, loading is a bit faster, and I think it really showed. With loading times went by pretty quickly. And even startup, it takes a bit to start up, but once it boots, it's instantly there. Haven't had any slowdown. Could use a few software updates, especially with the menu navigating and with the 3D face recognition. But other than that, it's a pretty nifty machine to get a hold of. And well, that's all for this unboxing and first impressions video. I think I've got some games to play. See you guys next time.